has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf team champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go!
That's what champions do.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're a legit 5 deep at receiver. 7 bona fide pass targets deal. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It just goes to show you how special this guy is, and I can't figure out why he doesn't cut through like the Tiger Woods of the world in that kind of dominant fashion in years past.
He stepped up to the tee box on the 14th hole, and he was 60-1 to win that golf tournament. You know, he was trailing by 6 shots, and he comes out on top.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
However many units are on the line, however many people, however many cocktails, like it's a perfect scorecard. And someone questioned him on one hole. He's like, well, one thing I never get wrong is the scorecard. And then we're on like 13 and he's added up and he's like, this is wrong.
I looked back from number 13 and I'm like, I'm missing $140 somewhere. I don't know where I'm missing it. And I'm looking back and I'm like, no, yeah, it doesn't match up on 11. And I got to track it back to like number 7.
Only on SportsGrid.
Ferrall has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. It's Ferrall on a bench, coast to coast, in the biggest way possible. Hanging out. The bad seed, a bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City. The Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, direct traffic, some kind of fashion shake-it-up, doobie, along with the original golf gangster himself, the ticket casher, the tater maker. Carver High on a Monday. Mafia running it with Luke. I am your father. The rundown. Hershey blows. Gabe Morency from Sports Rage. Double shot this very hour. Plus, in that window, Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News will join us later. Adam Kaplan, our NFL insider. He's been talking about all the teams in preseason and what's going on in their camps and around Pain Day NFL Skinny. Carver High, I watched the men. I watched Steph Curry. I watched him knocking down bombs late in the game. The nighty-night, sleepy time shot that buried the French. Then I watched the women in an all-out war with France for the gold. Back and forth, lead changes, ties, violence. FIBA refs letting it all go. They were hacking each other, punching each other, elbowing each other, diving at ankles, the whole deal. The French dominating the boards, and the U.S. turning the ball over every other trip down the floor, but they still got the gold by a point. It was crazy as they wrapped up the Olympics in Paris with Tom Cruise flying in from the heavens.
Happy Monday to you as well. Yes, the Olympics finally over. It was a fun 2 weeks, I got to say. I know we were saying on Friday we were kind of staggering to the finish a little bit, but both the basketball games were very exciting on Saturday and Sunday. I watched the end of the men's game because I had a couple things going on there. I did not see any of the women's game, but of course saw the finish where the girl on France's foot was on the three-point line, or else they would have been playing some overtime. I thought that was actually the more impressive, that the French women fought them so hard, because, I mean, they haven't lost a game in 2 decades in the Olympics. Like, that would have been a monumental upset if they would have pulled it off. I think people were thinking the men could have been picked off a couple times. I mean, Serbia almost did it in the round before that. But I thought all in all, and the U.S. did get to that 40 gold medals, and I'll give you the whole count later. They did get to the 40 golds. I thought all in all, it was a much more enjoyable Olympics, I think, from our perspective, because of what I was telling you last week. There was just so much more stuff you could bet on now because this was the first time really the books were open, legal and everything, and there was so many more events that they added and so much you could do. I thought that made the Olympics a lot more fun from that standpoint the last 2 weeks.
Without a doubt. I mean, we saw how, and Morency will be on here in a little bit, how degenerate he is. He was betting on everything.
He was on it all. He had it all going.
He bet everything. You know, I bet basketball, and I got into that, and I wasn't that caught up in betting the Olympics. But I will say that I was totally into watching the Olympics. I watched everything. I literally watched everything. I saw things that I would never watch in my life, like chicks jumping things on horses. I watched breakdancing like at least 3 times. I watched these breakdancing battles. I knew I had hit a new low when I was watching the breakdancing because I do not believe that's a sport. I think it's awesome. I think those breakdancers are incredible. Their strength is insane, but I wasn't like betting on it. I just watched everything. I loved everything about it. The swimming, everything. I watched all of it. Wrestling, weightlifting. I saw it all. Water polo, field hockey. I did want to run off with the Australian. I think it was the Netherlands. The Netherlands field hockey team. I wanted to run off with and have a like a 4-day bender with them. But I thought the Paris Olympics were great, and now it's off to Los Angeles in 28.
And you had to tell me because I had no idea. I saw Cruz jumping off the roof of the closing ceremonies. I'm like, what the hell is this guy doing? And then you and Mafia told me it was the transition to Los Angeles, that they're heading to L.A. They had to have the big superstar actor jump off a rope, jump off the zip line at the top of the stadium to send them off. So that'll be fun. And they're going to add a lot of stuff in L.A. Baseball and softball's back. You're going to have the flag football. You're going to have a bunch of other things as well. So that'll be fun. I think cricket gets involved too.
He's a guy
cricket.
that he's not afraid to do anything, that guy.
No.
With his stunts in Mission Impossible and all these movies, Jack Reacher and all this other stuff he's done over the years. He's I'm surprised they, haven't made him James Bond. What hasn't this guy done stunts-wise? And it's clear he's on HGH to me. Let's just get down to it. How is it that guy, he's like, I know he's in his 60s, and he literally looks like he's 30. I mean, it is amazing how that we all age and get fat, and Tom Cruise stays the same. Have you ever noticed, like, he's still the same dude he was 30 years ago? He's gained a couple pounds, maybe in his chest, but other than that, he looks like he's 30. Like, you know how Belichick dates a 24-year-old? I think Tom Cruise could actually date a 20-year-old and get away with it and, like, look good doing it. Going out on the red carpet.
He's 62 now, Tom Cruise. So he's 62 years old, and as Luke just said, Scientology is how he's done. He's able to get by with Scientology. That's
God
how Tom
did
Cruise.
it, right? He's giving
God
him
did it for him.
quality looks for life, never age. Like the fountain.
We have a lot.
You know what the fountain of youth is HGH in your belly every morning. Okay,
yeah,
trust me,
you go.
I know people that do it.
We'll put the bow on the Olympics. We'll be done with that. NFL preseason week 1 in the books. Lots of overreactions to talk about there. I just saw this before we came on air. That Hassan Reddick, who never played for the Jets, got traded there, showed up to the facility to do the press conference and hasn't been back since. He'd like to leave the Jets because they're not going to give him any more money. So that's not bad. Seeing a guy get traded before he even plays a game for you, that could happen with the Jets and Hassan Reddick.
Well,
nice job.
So let's look at this for a second. Here's a team that I have heard just endlessly, just a constant motion of they're the best defense in the NFL and that they're going to the Super Bowl because they have Aaron Rodgers and that because of the fact that they have this great defense and that Sauce Gardner makes them the greatest defense perhaps ever in the history of the NFL. So you're going to tell me that the greatest team ever that, loses 10 games a year, that their best, let's face facts, this guy literally is their best pass rusher. He's their best pass rusher. That's just all there is to it. All I hear about is Hassan Reddick. That's why they got him. And then they're so cheap, the head of the tampon division won't spend any money on their number one quarterback killer. They won't pay the guy that sacks the quarterback. That is phase one. Trust me, phase one today of our total dismantling of their season. So all I live for, Moppy, I'm sorry, stay out of this. I know how much you hate me. All I live for is one step at a time throughout, let's say, first quarter, first half, third quarter, and then end of season. This is stage one of the phase of their breaking into pieces and falling apart like they always do. This is step number one of many failures and injuries and problems. And then they'll fire Salah, and they won't even play, at best, a wild card game, at best. And if they don't make the wild card, they will never hear the end of it from me. I will abuse them all year long, literally every week. Every time they lose a game, I'm going to have a party here.
I could see it going exactly that way. Just the beginning of the cracks. We've got the first preseason AP Top 25 in college, all the baseball. Very busy Monday.
Very exciting.
Try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
I'm talking about playing Keontae George, Taylor Hendricks, Isaiah Collier, the rookie, Cody Williams, the rookie, Bryce Sansamore, second year, maybe keep it Walker Kessler. That means either Danny Ainge thinks that they're going to be a championship team in 3 to 4 years, or he's going to wait 1 year and he's going to trade Lauri Markkanen and he's going to get the farm.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
Say the under has the correct juice to the 6.5 win total for the New York Giants. It's a losing season. It's a bad season in the greater New York area. Is Brian Daboll and is Joe Shane back next year?
As a Giants fan, what are you looking forward to? Absolutely nothing. You're hoping like the Yankees make a long enough run so you can forget about the Giants.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The bottom of this field is a bunch of guys, quite frankly, that aren't on the tour, aren't on the DP tour, aren't on the Korn Ferry tour.
The top 25 or so in this field, I mean, you've got Rory, you've got Lowry, you've got Scheffler, all four Americans, Minwoo Lee and Jason Day. And you go to Mito Pereira and Joaquin Neiman out of Chile. So, it really is pretty deep.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
BetMGM is swinging for the fences. The best place to bet the long ball all season long. Out-of-the-park odds on home runs. Exclusive signature bets. And a weekly shot at your share of $50K in bonus bets. Enter the $50K Grand Slam jackpot. It's on.
All right, make sure you catch Sports Rage every weeknight at 10 Eastern along all of our outlets on the TV side, streaming side, radio side, including Sports Byline USA, and on satellite radio on Sirius XM channel 159. That's Sports Rage weeknights at 10. You can catch Morency on Coast to Coast every day for a double shot right here on C2C. He just said to me that he was having Olympic withdrawals.
Yeah, I'm so used to waking up in the morning, Scott, and going, oh, man, I got to get up for that cycling event. I got to get up for that soccer match. I got to get up for the basketball game. This morning, it's just not the same energy. Day after the Olympics have come to a close, although it really kind of winded down on Saturday. It was a great game. You and I talked about it. We were spoiled this year as sports fans from the Copa America, the Euro Cup, the Olympics. It really, really just filled the summer up with some great sports action. And I thought the Olympics were a lot of fun over the last 16, 17 days.
What are we going to do without it, honestly? Now, look, I get it. We're right near the line of going to college football and pro football. We're near the line, but we are not at the line. I've been hearing how close we are. Today's August 12th, okay? I think it's like August 31st or something. It all starts. And to me, that's like heaven and hell. Like, I don't know how I'm going to make it.
So close yet so far, huh? That's the feeling. You're so close yet you're so far. I actually have the Commanders and the Jets. I'm watching some NFL preseason games on replay right now. Listen, college football, Scott, on the 24th. That's rapidly approaching. It is the calm before the storm right now. But right now is sort of the sports bettors Olympics, Scott. This is the time of the year right now. There's, the college football win total bets, NFL futures, division bets. There's a lot of bets to get in, a lot of decisions to be made, and quite frankly, we only have a couple of more weeks left to do it. So right now, after these Olympics, I was really focused on the Olympics from a betting standpoint, and I did okay. I ended up winning, a bit. I bet so many events, right? It was over the top, but I ended strong. I had the China bet, the USA bet, Canada smashed the 5.5. You know what is a really nice one, Scott? We hit Lydia Ko. We actually won the women's golf at 33-1.
Nice.
Just on a complete flyer on the way out. You know what? I was like, Lydia Ko, she'd won a bronze and she won a silver in this before. She's been playing good golf. I didn't really understand the odds. I only took 2 golfers, too. So it wasn't like I had like 8 golfers or 10 golfers or something like that. I literally took 2. My other pick sucked, and the other one won. So it's nice. I ended on a bang. It was, from a betting perspective, we did well with the Olympics. It was a lot of fun, but it was also really draining. I didn't sleep much. Like, there were a couple of nights, man. Like, I slept like 2-3 hours for real.
What?
Like,
Wait. So I think when you started this tour de force, you told me you bet $3,500 on the Olympics. Is that about right?
It ended up to being about, it ended up in the 6 range when it was all said and done.
6 times. How much money did you end up making?
I think I got it's tough because it was a 16, 17-day operation. So sometimes I got paid, some of the gold medal bets I won early, and then I rolled it over again, right? So when it's all said and done, I think I probably got about 8 back from 63 or something like that. Like the golf, China, there were a couple of things over the weekend that started to put me over the top. And there were a couple of really nice degenerate bets that I hit, Scott. What I did, basically, everything was either... I didn't go crazy. I just had a lot of them. So I'd bet $100 to win 500 or something to win 1,000. So I played all these parlays basically, or bets, $250 to win 500 or, a parlay, 100 to win 500, 200 to win 1,000. So every bet I won, it came back at a $500 or $1,000 block.
Right. And
they started to add up. I was down mid-Olympics. It wasn't looking good. And things started to come through for me. You know what? I swept the beach volleyball. I won the women's beach volleyball. I won the men's beach volleyball. I won the rugby sevens. I won a lot of events, actually, Scott. There were a couple I lost along the way, too.
How much did the 40 U.S. golds pay?
That was just even money, and that's not worth it, that bet. So it was 39.5, and they got 40 gold medals on the last day, bro. The U.S. women's soccer, and basketball teams put it over the top for them along with the men's basketball. They needed the team events, but it was a lot of stress, Scott, to get to 40. And they landed at 40. The bet was 39.5. They got 40 goals in the last Olympics as well, before this, Tokyo. So it's pretty clear that these numbers are pretty sharp, bro. When it comes to the powerhouse countries, what's the use of betting it? You can flip a coin. I mean, it's going to come down to half a medal, one way or the other. Like you look at China, China's over-under was 33.5, and they finished with 40. Like they did better than their projection was even. It was a really good Olympics for China. Same with Canada. Canada's gold medal was 5.5, Scott. I was sweating it out last week, worried about the swimmers. They ended up with like 9 of them when it was all said and done. So, like, we ended strong. You know, it was fun. But like you said, I feel the same way. It's sort of that we're in the in-between this right now. Baseball's annoying for me now, Scott. I find this time of the year, unless you're a fan of, like, a team that's battling for a wild card spot, like you, I'm a Dodger fan. Whatever, bro. Like, get to the playoffs. None of this matters. So I'm sort of like with baseball now. I'm sort of like, yeah, whatever, dude. Let's just get to the playoffs here at the end of September.
I got to tell you, was that chick your favorite, the swimmer from Canada? Was she your favorite athlete when it was all said and done?
Well, she was pretty impressive. She nailed 3 gold medals as a 17-year-old. I don't know if she was my favorite. There were some pretty good stories along the way in the Olympics overall. I thought that the quality of the action was just great. I mean, we had like shootouts. I mean, hell, Scott, the women's gold medal in field hockey went to penalty shots, bro. Like, you couldn't top it.
Yeah, I watched that. I thought that field hockey game with Netherlands
was cool,
was great.
When it comes to betting on sports, injuries matter, and Sports Injury Central has you covered all year long with expert injury analysis and injury-based picks for the NFL, NBA, and MLB. Our former pro sports doctors have unmatched experience to analyze every injury so you know the impact of the player, team, and their upcoming matchup. Whether it's articles, podcasts, player insights, or our patented injury scores, Sports Injury Central will help you keep up with your fantasy team and make more informed wagers. So make sure you follow Sports Injury Central and gain an edge at sixscore.com.
What is the ceiling for this kid? Now that he's got the money, and we saw something click with him, what is the ceiling for a Jordan Love in this Green Bay team?
Deepest pass target group in the National Football League. 2 stud tight ends. They're a legit 5 deep at receiver. 7 bona fide pass targets deal. Come on, man. This guy could be a stud. Top 5 quarterback.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
The bottom of this field is a bunch of guys, quite frankly, that aren't on the tour, aren't on the DP tour, aren't on the Corn Ferry tour.
You know, the top 25 or so in this field, I mean, you've got Rory, you've got Lowry, you've got Scheffler, you know, all 4 Americans, Minwoo Lee and Jason Day. And you go to Mito Pereira and Joaquin Neiman out of Chile. So, you know, it really is pretty deep.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
Try and set the stage for what should be a great year of NFL action.
There's a handful of teams that potentially can compete for a Super Bowl championship.
Confusion and uncertainty this year more than some in the past.
This team looks like it's ready to make a move, but we just don't know if it's bad or good this year.
J.J. McCarthy is eventually going to take over, but it's like it's a no-lose situation for them.
I mean, they suck. They were 7-10.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're talking to Morency in Vancouver, and you can catch Sports Rage tonight and every weeknight at 10 on all of our outlets, obviously on the TV and radio side. So what stood out to you? I thought the Jalen Daniels coming in for the Commanders and throwing a bomb on his first pass and connecting, and then a quarterback sneak touchdown. He played one series and did those two things. It was pretty impressive. And Caleb Williams, he did some nice things in his series. What was your reaction to the football over the weekend?
Well, like you said, it's preseason. It's hard, you don't want to overreact, but at the same point in time, there's only 3 preseason games, and some of these players are only going to play in 1 or 2 of them. So every play does count. For me, it's not so much the result. It's sort of like, how did you look in the game? And let's start off with Caleb Williams. I thought Caleb Williams looked very comfortable, Scott. And you know that they're not going to give away too much in the preseason as far as what kind of offense they want to run for him. But I thought there were a lot of hints. And it seemed to me that it was pretty USC-ish, Scott. Like, really, I never really understand why some teams know that their quarterback can't do something or know that he does something better, but they don't do it because they're like, no, we want to teach him this or that. I'm of the belief, play to the strengths of your player. And Caleb Williams is not a great pocket passer. And I don't say that in a way that, he can't throw the football, but when he just, simply drops back and he has to read the defense and it's a standard sort of drop back play, like we saw a lot in that Notre Dame game last year. He kind of struggled a bit under just sort of standard procedures, okay? Because that's where you got to break down the defense. You got to understand what everybody's doing. You roll him out, and it just creates this completely different dynamic on the play. And he's not like a speed burner, but he's football fast. And there were a couple of times, Scott, that very impressive in the pocket. He didn't panic, just a slow step up, step backwards. The great ones sort of do that. They understand. You don't have to panic in the pocket. Just be calm. And I thought he was very calm in the pocket. We all know about his Patrick Mahomes sort of like plays that he can do, and he does. And he did it right away on the first drive. The Buffalo Bills got to him. They had him. No, did a little shovel pass, turned into like a 16-yard game. So I thought that Caleb Williams looked pretty comfortable out there, Scott. Obviously, it was a small takeaway, but I also, the little takeaways from the offense, I liked what I saw there. As far as Jaden Daniels concerned, another player, Scott, guy looks like no problem. Doesn't look like a rookie. I know it was a preseason game, but scored a touchdown on his first drive. Walked it into the end zone, tic-tac-toe down the field with him as well. Another player that just seems very, very... I think, Scott, we're in an era right now where some of these players can play right away. Not all of them, but some of them are. And it looks like Daniels and Williams are more than capable of stepping up and in right now. And as far as the Bills are concerned, that was ugly.
What was your thoughts? Like, McDermott was upset after the game. And listen, we've had this conversation. They lost a lot of great players. And I don't know how you recover from that. They look terrible.
Well, for me, it's like I said, I don't care if you lose the game, right? Like a lot of coaches, they don't care about the wins and losses, but they care about how did you look during the game? Did our players play well? And it was just flat. And McDermott can get all, as upset as he wants. I told people going into the game, the Bills are not a good preseason team. They think they can just sort of flick that switch. Now, they play the Steelers this week, all right? So I would expect both the Steelers and the Bills to dial it up a notch because that was just a straight-out pathetic effort from Buffalo. That was just flat, bad. You couldn't get first downs. You couldn't stop the other team. You got routed. I mean, dude, you lost 33-6 on your home field. Preseason or not, you're charging people for this stuff. Have a little pride, right? Like, we get it. Your starters didn't play, but so that means the backups are that bad? You're going to lose. You're going to get smashed? You're that thin of a football team? I don't think that was the case. I just think they were ready to play. And you figure, Scott, like, why wouldn't they be ready to play? Like, the Bills should be hungry and urgent. They always act like they're the defending Super Bowl champion or something like that. You're not. You haven't even made the damn Super Bowl. There's this aura of, like, cockiness around the team. Like you said, you figured that maybe they would have been humbled a little bit after what's happened. Doesn't seem like they have been. I know it's early, Scott, but I didn't like what I saw from the Bills. That was a bad performance all around.
Same for my team. I thought Fields looked terrible. Fumbling the ball left and right.
I didn't think it was so much Fields. I thought your offensive line was really bad. They had problems like just, executing snaps and stuff. But I didn't think it was Fields' problem so much. I thought Fields was okay in my opinion.
Well, they got their ass beat too, so they're playing the Bills. We'll find out a little more this week when those two hook up. All right, Morency, have a good show tonight, buddy.
Thanks, Scott.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go!
That's what champions do.
All right, look who it is, Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News. And you see him on Fox Sports, Big Ten Network. He's everywhere, but he's on coast to coast every week. Thank God for that. And I wanted to get your reaction to that women's gold medal game, first of all, in basketball. And then the women's gold medal in soccer. I thought both of those games were great. I thought Swanson's goal was great. I thought the women's basketball game was intense. I thought it was relatively violent. I thought the FIBA refs let them get away with murder. I thought off-ball violence was certainly visible. I saw a lot of people throwing elbows and banging and pulling and yanking, and a very physical contact game with very, very little whistles in terms of those, body checks and fouls. But at the end of the day, I thought the French rebounded incredibly, and I thought the U.S. turned the ball over so many times I lost track.
Yeah, it was. It was not a great performance by the United States women. It's far below their standard. They were very fortunate to continue their streak of gold medals, which runs back until like 1895 I think now. I'm very impressed by the program. Generally, it was not a strong performance in the gold medal game. Not sure really how to explain what you talked about with the physicality, with allowing it to be as rough a game as it was. Probably was oriented toward France, which was not nearly as skilled, and that made a huge difference in how the U.S. performed. But that wasn't all of it. I didn't think that the bench did a very good job in that game. And by the bench, I'm not talking about the players who came off. I'm talking about the way the players were rotated by the coach. I did not think that she did a great job in that gold medal game, finding a rhythm, finding a formula that worked. I thought it took way too long to go to Sabrina Ionescu and get some definition to the offense, which wasn't there early in the game. And I thought that was a big difference. And I thought that Griner, I know she wasn't defending very well against what France was doing, but they also couldn't stop her. And the U.S. was struggling to make shots. Brittany Griner made a couple and probably could have delivered a little bit more than she was allowed to do.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it either. I thought that, I was stunned. Like I'm watching the game and I was thinking the same things about like Griner. I'm like, they can't get a rebound, but this chick's sitting on the bench. Like I'm sitting there going, like, can we get somebody that can grab a rebound? And then when they did get rebounds, like Stewie Lake got the rebound and got the jump ball. They were all over the ball. I thought France, to be honest, just outplayed them. I mean, at every level, at every turn, they hustled more. They dove for loose balls. They played full press defense the whole game. Every time I couldn't believe how many offensive boards they got and how many jump balls and everything else. And I think they were crying to the refs, and so was the U.S. team a little bit. I didn't think it was the refs' problem. I really didn't think the refs called a bad game. I thought they let them get away with murder. But I couldn't believe how they took them to the woodshed. And then the last shot, obviously, her foot was on the line. But you're right. I was watching the game. I thought their 60-gamer was going to end.
Well, I do think that if you allow the game to be played that way, you have called a bad game by definition. I don't think basketball is meant to be played. Basketball is a free-flowing game, and physicality in certain circumstances is fine. But when it's constant and especially against the player with the ball, it doesn't work. I was very disappointed in that aspect of it. I thought we saw that a lot in various games. The United States against Serbia in the men's side. We saw it all over the 3x3 tournament. I think FIBA needs to get a handle on what physicality is to mean in the sport of basketball.
Yeah, I mean, do you notice the difference between, I do, like FIBA refs and like the NBA or even the WNBA? I mean, in the NBA, Embiid would have gone to the line 35 times every time he played in the Olympics. If it was the NBA refs, he would have gone 35 times the line. And in this international FIBA rules, he's lucky if he went to the line twice. Like they let him hack away. I mean, it's hack city. They don't call off-ball fouls. They just let people mug each other. Like there was a couple of times, like literally, you saw Davis and Embiid when they were playing, and Bam Adebayo, they were literally getting thrown to the ground, and they were doing the same thing the other way.
It's often said that FIBA is a more physical game, and I don't believe that that's the way the game is going. The game in the NBA is certainly not going that way. The game in the NCAA is not going that way. WNBA, it's not going that way. And if the idea is, well, the only way Europe can keep up is to allow the game to be played that way, I got a better idea. Get better. I mean, if you could produce a Jokic or a Giannis or a Luka, then why can't more than one of those guys? If you can do it, go out and get better. Just rely on the game being physical so you can stay with the United States in international competition. Learn the game of basketball better. I mean, everybody keeps telling me that they teach it way better over there, and all the players that come here are more fundamentally sound and all that. Well, if that's the case, then why does the game have to be that physical at the FIBA level?
All right, Mike, listen, love you. I got to run. We're having technical difficulties, so I'll catch up with you, but I appreciate you talking about the basketball with us. We'll get you next time on Coast to Coast. Thank you very much, Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News with us today on Coast to Coast. Carver High, I agree with him, to be honest, in a sense that it's almost like this is like coming to me now, and it's not during the tournament that I thought it, but it's like now I'm realizing that this is the way FIBA wants it so that the rest of the world catches up to the USA basketball. I mean, they're favored every time in the Olympics to win the gold. And you heard Kerr, if we win a silver, everyone's disappointed. It's a failure. Silver is a failure and not an option for either side, the men's or the women. And that FIBA has allowed this contact basketball and fouling off ball. Like, so you understand, the guy has the ball, he's getting checked anyway and just battered. Like the defender, if you looked at the women's game the other day, yesterday, the guards that were guarding the ball, the person bringing the ball up the court, they were fouling the hell out of them. I mean, hacking away at their hands, at their arms, trying to get steals, banging with the body. But that is nothing compared to off ball. Off ball, you see, like, in the block, someone's getting just absolutely shanked and murdered and stuffed in a sleeping bag. There's guys running. You see someone trying to run off a screen. They're getting literally tackled like the NFL. I mean, they let them get away with murder. And I think it's to let the rest of the world catch up to the Americans.
I think there definitely is something to that. I think that when you look at how both of them have dominated for so long, I mean, the women's team hasn't lost in 30 years. The men only got tripped up in 2004. And other than that, they've won every time since 92. And as closer as the men have come, yeah, I think there does have to be some sort of if we call the game this way, some of the European teams figure it out. They start playing a little more physical. You have a closer game. But at the end of the day, you still got to make shots, right? And that's why Serbia almost beat the men. They were making shots. You still got to make shots despite how much until they weren't, and then they were finished. So that's how it goes sometimes. We'll wrap all of that up when we come back. We'll go through all the stuff.
I thought they had the perfect game plan to beat USA, Serbia, more so than France did. I thought the Serbs had them right where they wanted them.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go!
That's what champions do.
All right, Carver High. We've been under a tremendous strain today. I wanted to tell you about the BetMGM First Bet 1500. You get it in 4 easy steps. One, download their app on iOS or Android or go to BetMGM.com. Sign up, deposit 10 in your new account. Place your first wager and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if the bet loses in 4. If the bet does lose, your bets will be available once your initial wager is settled. Very exciting.
It is very exciting stuff. There's no question about that. All right, we have a lot to do. Let's put the bow on all this Olympic stuff. Of course, the final medal count. We talked a lot about the United States getting to 40 gold medals. Well, they did. But China also got to 40 gold medals, but the United States had more silvers, more bronzes, more total. 126
more
medals for the United States in this Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Hell of a job, Scotty.
So, I don't know what it is about me, but I always think the Chinese cheat and juice. Everyone's juicing. My question, and I mean it. I thoroughly mean it. Every ounce of what I said, I'll never take back one word of it. And secondly, my question is, how much do you think the USA athletes juice? Because I don't think they're akin to not doing it either. I really don't. I don't think everyone's so holy and so honest and so wonderful. I mean, how do you win in every single sport? You win a medal. I mean, they win in everything. The U.S. wins in everything. You're telling me they're clean? Everybody's clean? What?
The IOC, nobody tests better than them. I mean, you're talking about one of the highest organizations in the world of sport. I mean, how could you even possibly suggest that somebody would be able to get past the strict, rigorous testing of the IOC? I mean, come on.
Or the UFC.
Yeah, already. I mean, come on. Any of them. I mean, how is it even possible that can happen? No, look, I think it just comes down to, I mean, look how many athletes they have in the game. I mean, they're in every event, multiple athletes. I mean, it's just, I think that's kind of what it comes down to. They got, it's the facilities. They got the best facilities in the world. It's all these things. I can't believe you would even bring up something such as that to be the reason why they would have the most medals. That's just not true whatsoever. Next. So we've talked a lot about this already. The men beat France 98-87.
I can't believe you would sully the Olympic conversation.
I can't believe the IOC. I mean, you would say such bad things about them. It's unbelievable. Let me get to a couple things with LeBron. Obviously, LeBron, Curry, and KD kind of were the guys, right? Like, they were the guys that took over. This was like probably the last time all three of them are going to do it. Well, first time Curry did it at all. They gave LeBron, I know we do this stuff all the time with MVPs, they gave LeBron the tournament MVP of the Olympics. The United States won because Curry went off the last two games. That's why they won, Scotty. They won because Curry went absolutely nuts in the Serbia game and in the France game, and that's why they won. So he should have won that, but they give LeBron everything. I get it.
He had 60 points in the last two games, and the last two games are all that matter, the semifinal and the final. That's how that works. I thought his performance shooting on Saturday was surreal. Like, he was just knocking down bombs. And then with his emphatic sleepy time, the whole deal, he had it all going. I thought into a double team, that like 35, 38-foot shot that he threw up into the clouds and it came down and knocked in. I just couldn't even believe it. I was like, I was sitting there watching and I was like, when he hit the shot, I was like, did you see that?
It was an unbelievable shot. It was a hell of a shot by him. LeBron also said he does not see himself playing for USA at the 2028 games in LA. I mean, he'll only be 45 at that point. I mean, how much more? Like, it's like, how much more can we? KD too. Like, KD unsure if he'll be in 2028. Like, I think they've done a great job, but it's just like Taurasi with the women. Like, when is enough? 4 medals, 5 medals, 6 medals. Like, there's plenty of so much great young talent that I don't think you need to do that. I think these guys, they always bring the old guard back for the men when they have a bad loss, like they did last summer at the World Cup, right? They had a bad loss, so they brought the old guard back, LeBron, KD, and they talked Curry into doing it finally. I don't think they're going to need to do that in 2028, right? I mean, think about guys that are young now, 4 years from now, where they're going to be. I thought Halliburton had the best response to not playing, right? He put that picture of himself up holding the medal. He's like, I was in the group project and didn't do nothing. I got an A. Like, he handled it really cool. as opposed to Tatum, where all we did was talk about all week whether he should play or not. They're going to have a lot of guys with a lot of juice, led by Anthony Edwards, who's going to be 4 years older. We're not going to see LeBron and KD and Steph Curry in 2028 in LA.
Yeah, they're too old. It's just that simple. Not only that, I don't believe for 1 minute that LeBron James will still be playing in the NBA in 2028. I think that this is it. I think he's going to play this deal that he got. I'll be surprised if he finishes that. Like, I think he might play one more year in the NBA and then call it a day. And he got that deal, right? He just signed it, whatever, to stay with the Lakers. What was it, 3 years? I don't believe for 1 minute he's playing 3 more years in the NBA. I don't. And I know he still plays at a really high level, and there's no questioning that. He is still dominant. He can do whatever he wants in a basketball game to anyone, anywhere, anytime, any day, and it don't matter who's on the floor. He is unstoppable. The one thing that impressed me most about him was when he tried to stop Joker, when they put him on Joker, and he was banging with him in the low block, just banging, and his 6'8", 260 was just like, you can't move me, fatso. I am still here at his age, just taking it from the Joker, who can pound anyone into the low block and get a bucket easily. He couldn't do it against LeBron. And he's truly amazing, but I don't believe he's got much more in the NBA, let alone, without a doubt, he's not playing in that LA Olympics.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is great and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
I don't know. I sent you that video, Carver High, of the Serbians on the bus. I thought that kind of showed exactly where they stood.
There was a lot of footage of the Serbians, who of course won the bronze early Saturday morning our time when they beat Germany in that bronze medal game. There was pictures of them on the bus. There was pictures of them in the streets. There was pictures of them they came back for that podium. Because remember, they played hours before the United States and France, and they came back to that podium, and they were feeling it on that podium when they got those bronze medals. You could tell. Joker, at the time of his life, he was smashed. And then, like 12 hours later, a video surfaces. Joker was already, it's like he got that medal, and he got out of there as fast as he possibly could, and there was footage of him at the horse track in Serbia with his horses getting ready for them to run, because you know he loves those horses. He wants to get home to Serbia and watch them. So Joker had quite the weekend celebrating the bronze. Good for him.
I saw him chugging beer, partying, topless.
Oh, he was
singing
rolling
on the bus.
He was rolling, that's for sure. You mentioned the women's. We already talked about them. They won. Asia Wilson was named the MVP on that side, which I guess fine, because she scored all the points, right? Did she let anyone else score? I think she scored on pretty much all the points for the women's team.
The Copper, I thought, had some huge buckets in the fourth quarter. Yeah. Other than that, it was pretty much Asia Wilson.
That's what it was. So there you go. They're winners as well. I guess they get another week or so, and then a week or two, and then the WNBA starts back up as they'll finish their season. All right, we gave you for the NBA. They can't just put the schedule out. They got to, give you these, small crumbs every few days. So Friday I gave you Christmas Day. Today I give you opening night in late October. First night of the NBA season, the Knicks will visit the Celtics as they raise the banner there at TD. And the Timberwolves will be at the Lakers, because we haven't you knew they had squeezed LeBron in there somehow. So you get the Lakers on opening night of the NBA season.
The Lakers will be on a lot this year on his farewell tour. It's already smelling like that's happening before our very eyes, even though he signed that deal. I'll believe it when I see it if he keeps playing past this year, but I'm not going to sweat it. I don't care when he retires. There's no denying his brilliance, how great he is, but they're always on national television, the Lakers. Even when they suck, they're on TV. They just can't get enough of the Lakers. They do all their shows. ESPN literally has their network built right next to the arena. I mean, they do all their basketball shows right next to him. In fact, I'm surprised they don't sleep at his house. I'm surprised they don't have a broadcast directly in his master bedroom, inside his bed with his wife. Seriously. And then the Knicks will lose at the Garden in Boston on opening night, as sure as I'm sitting here. Some people say that the night is the celebratory type events, and it takes forever. They raise the banner, get their rings, and all this other stuff. That it's a huge distraction, and it is. What it is a pain in the ass for the Knicks to have to sit through it, and then they're going to get whacked by the Celtics, who never lose at home.
Never. That's precisely what they never do. We will start the next hour with all of the baseball from the weekend and all the games that we have tonight. I do want to give you a couple things here in the last minute that are just coming across the Spew News desk. Number one, I told you that Reddick requested a trade from the Jets. About 10 minutes after that news became out, Jets general manager Joe Douglas put out a statement saying, "We're not trading you anywhere. We're here. We'll keep finding you. When you're ready to play football, you can show up." So they have no intention of trading Hassan Reddick anywhere at all. And from the suspension pile, Jaron Duran, who we're going to talk about in a little bit, suspended 2 games by the Red Sox, of course, uttered the anti-gay slur at the fan yesterday during the game that was caught on the mic. 2 games for him, Scotty. He's out tonight and tomorrow for Boston.
Dropping F-bombs and F-bombs on top of that. So he dropped a swear word, and he dropped a gay slur, and it was all right on the home plate mic. I mean, you could hear the whole thing crystal clear. And then that's just a mess. Here's the deal. I would love to see Reddick, actually have some stones and see if he could carry this into week 10. See how long he can actually hold out and how much money he can be fined and not bow down to Joe Douglas, to be honest. I want to see him keep holding out.